guys, I'm Laura. Welcome back to my channel. It has been a hot minute. I figured now was a good time as any to sit down and do this particular video. There's been some very big changes in my life, and I'm going to share them with you right now while I put on my makeup and get ready to film all of my end of year content. So if you guys, you've probably seen the community post I put up about my dad towards the end of November. I will preface this, I am going to talk about some fairly emotional topics, and it might not be a video for everyone, so if this might be triggering to you, then I recommend skipping this video. But it's something that I feel like I need to talk about to someone. I mean, I've got no one else really. If this is going to be a sensitive topic, we're going to be dealing with severe illness and potential death. So you've been warned. Carrying on. Towards the end of November, my dad found out. Well, towards the end of November, Dad came and told me he found out he had cancer. And it was almost a year to the day my mum had died that he found out he had cancer. So that's always great, right? Not only is it the anniversary of your wife's death, you're gonna find out you've got cancer. My dad has oroesophageal cancer, so it affects his mouth. His mouth, his jaw, his throat, his esophagus area, and it started off as what they thought was an infected saliva gland, and 2 rounds of antibiotics later, it's still not shifting. They sent him for a biopsy and comes back that, and he gets scans and things and x-rays done to see how big it is and what they're dealing with. And the ideal course of action with almost any cancer is, well, maybe not almost any cancer, but this particular type of cancer, the ideal course of action would be operation, trying to remove what they can. And that was the idea. We thought it was, well, the impression, basically what it did to him is his entire mouth and tongue were swollen. My dad doesn't have real teeth, so he had to take out his false teeth to talk properly. And we thought it was just, well, as I say, the impression I got was, from what I could understand from him, was it was just a swelling in the jaw, but it's actually everywhere, basically everywhere. So it kind of knocked operation off of the table. It was not a viable option in terms of leaving him with any quality of life, because it's not just in his saliva gland area. It would be a 14-hour operation, and it would involve removing his entire tongue and his entire jaw and a huge portion of his cheek. So if he were to survive the 14-hour operation, which they thought was a risky bet in the first place, he would then also have to go through a secondary operation to reconstruct his face. And if he then got out of that, he would never be able to eat again. He'd potentially never be able to talk again. So in terms of leaving him with some quality of life, it was decided against operation. which is understandable. So we're doing maintenance care at the moment, I suppose you could call it. They're trying to reduce the size of the tumour as much as possible, and then they will monitor it. The consultant that I went to see my dad with didn't specifically say it was stage 4, but he did say it had spread from his mouth area into the bone of his jaw, which is why they would have to take away the jaw. And from what I've researched, that's effectively stage 4 cancer. And from what I've read, people can live a fair amount of time with stage 4 cancer, but at the same time, it could be like months. But yeah. Yay! So, in terms of treatment, my dad is currently undergoing radiotherapy. He's just finished his first week course, and they said to him that he would begin to feel like significant pain after like the 3rd or 4th week. But he felt significant pain after the 3rd session. He's on daily Monday to Friday sessions, and so it's quite intensive. So he was fine for the first session, and after the 2nd and 3rd session, he progressively was feeling an intense amount of pain and wasn't able to eat or sleep. They have given him some stronger medicine to help with that, and they think what's happened is he has, because he had TIAs, it affects the nervous system, and the radiation might be causing him nerve pain instead of like cell pain, if that makes sense. So he's feeling the effects of it a lot faster than he would normally, which is one of the reasons why they opted against chemotherapy, because chemotherapy rapidly increased the chances of TIAs or a full-on stroke. Yeah. So at the moment, it's all about making sure my dad is comfortable, that he is keeping his health and maintaining his weight and diet. So it became increasingly aware to us that the current food market does not cater to people who actually want fat in their diets. Almost everything is fat-free, low-fat, low-calorie, and my dad's been recommended by the dietitian to eat foods with 25% fat or higher. So because he can't eat, he can't chew, so he can't eat lots of large amounts of food really, unless it's in a mushed or liquidy form. And a lot of it's like soft, soothing foods like yogurts, mostly yogurts. So his new favourite is Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt has a good dose of fat in it to help him maintain his weight. So he will finish his first course around the end of January, and they will do an assessment around mid-February and see what effects it has and what changes, and then we'll go from there. So that has been the main focus of my day-to-day. Just basically going to see him as often as I can, help him as much as I can, because it is making him really tired, and now that he's got the stronger medication, he can sleep. So that's where I have been, going to see him as often as I can, making sure he's eating properly, getting him things that he can't himself, because he is starting to feel quite tired a lot of the time. He already was feeling quite tired, but now even more so. So it's just, yeah. the kids just know that Granddad's really ill. So when I take him up to visit, they make sure they play quietly and that they're gentle around him. And yeah, they try and help him as well. It's quite cute, really. But yeah. So apart from that, other things have happened. I mean, I've been a bit sick myself. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. I've got a bit of sinusitis going on. I mean, nothing in comparison, but you know, it has its fatiguing effects. And I also got a new job. One of Nick's friends is a chef, and he had a almost entire staff walkout, and he became head chef, and now he's hiring his own team. And he went through lots of people just not even showing up for interviews, people lasting nearly a day, people blagging their way into his kitchen. And he just called about 2 weeks ago and said, "So when can she start?" And I was like, "Well, we'll be down tomorrow. We'll be down tomorrow." And I started 2 weeks ago, and I worked for 10 days straight. I worked the day there, and I went to the cafe. I worked 2 days there, and then I worked 7 days in a row at the restaurant. So it's been good. It's been a big change, big difference. And the times I work there now are like late afternoon, evening, so I can spend the morning with my dad. I can take the kids to school, which makes them really happy. And yeah, and it's bonus. It's loads more money than I was making previous, and there's the opportunity for that to go up as well, which is awesome. I am not a trained chef, but I have worked with food for over a decade, longer even. I've worked in functions and catering and food industry for 2006. So 16 years, almost 17 years. Almost 17 years I've worked doing functions and cooking, and I mean, granted, it's not necessarily chef style, but it's not all too different to what I was doing before. It's not grossly different. So I've really kind of been enjoying working there. So like I get a lot more time during the day to get things done. I'm not running around stressing. We're getting into a nice little routine. It may also mean that I can come off benefits, which will greatly expand my earning opportunities. As I've mentioned before, being on benefits, unless you've got like a sure, unless your additional income is a sure thing, it's really not worth going for, because you can't dip in and out of benefits. So we'll see what my assessment comes back as. And yeah. Also, if you can see this here, I don't actually know what that is, but I did have like conjunctivitis the other day. The kitchen was quite neglected, so I did a thorough gutting out and cleaning of it. Like it was clearly like they did the best they could, but it needed more. And I ended up deep cleaning an area, and I got stuff in my eye, and I ended up with conjunctivitis earlier this week. It's all gone now apart from this one lump. Although I don't know if that's conjunctivitis or if that's like a brow hair. I don't know. But the conjunctivitis was like so bad. By the time I got home that day after my shift, my entire left eye was like swollen shut. It was horrible, horrible, horrible. But yeah. Get me a little brush to do. Like all my brushes are either in the bathroom, but the ones in the bathroom kind of need washing, or they're in a bag on my bed that are away to get washed. So I'm currently using whatever brush I can find. And then I will get all my brushes cleaned and ready for use. So I did have a lot of content planned for December. I was planning on doing Vlogmas this year. I was making like a special intro for it and everything. And well, it just did not happen, did it? It just did not happen, which is fine. It's fine. And I've just been kind of focusing and preparing what I'm going to do for my project planning in the new year. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So yes, I'm just going to go in with my Equalizer 2 palette because it has been one of my most favourites this year. I will say that the videos that are going to be coming up, like my project pan intros, they are going to be a slightly lower, potentially lower quality than this current recording. Mostly because it doesn't need to be super high quality, and as I've mentioned before, when I try and edit videos with my video camera, they take so long to process, whereas if I use things with this camera, it doesn't take quite so long at all. Like I could edit like a 20-minute video in under half an hour, well, get processed in under half an hour, whereas with the video camera, every 10 minutes that need to be processed takes an hour to process. It's nuts. So but I'm really looking forward to the new year, regardless of current situations. I think next year is going to be a good year. And I've seen all these posts on Facebook like nobody claimed 2023 is going to be their year. Stay humble. It's like 2023 is going to be my year. I've decided it's going to be my year. Maybe I should just use this mirror. Maybe it would just be easier. Can get closer. I've decided that 2023 is going to be my year. I have so much to do, and time is not guaranteed. So we're just going to do the things, achieve the goals, and live the life. And the underlying, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, the underlying idea of the don't claim 2023 will be your year is because it'll make 2023 hard. And you know why it'll make it hard? Because you need adversity to grow. You need something that is going to push you out of your comfort zone, which oddly I'm using an eyeshadow called Comfort Zone. You need something to push you out of your comfort zone, to challenge yourself, to grow, to reach new heights. So everybody claim that 2023 is going to be your year, and go in there armed and ready and put in the work and come out the other side living your best life. That's all I can say. Time is not guaranteed. Complacency is no longer an option. We need to adapt if we want to continue. And yeah, that just sounds so, I don't know, like philosophical or whatever. I can't think of the word. Contentious. Is that maybe the word I'm looking for? I'm not sure. But I know it sounds like I'm making a lot more of it than it needs to be. But sometimes you have to. If, like I've said many times, Nick is happy with his life. He is happy just plodding along, and he doesn't understand why I strive for more. And one of the reasons I strive for more is because if this current economy isn't teaching anyone anything, you need to be one step ahead. You need to be ahead of the curve. Otherwise, you're just going to end up getting covered by a tsunami. For lack of a better analogy, that's basically what will happen. If you aren't ahead, you will be left behind. You will drown. And we don't want that. We don't want anyone being left behind. I don't want any of you guys left behind. I think we all have the potential to be successful, to be happy, and live to our full potential. And if I ever come across my report cards from school, literally every single year there would be a line. If Laura tried, if she pulled up her socks, she could achieve her full potential. Even back then, people saw that I was capable of more before I knew I was capable of more. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being capable of more and reaching for it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all. One of the big problems I think we have as a society is we see people wanting better for themselves and see them as big-headed. Or at least that's my experience anyway. Anytime I try to reach for more, who the hell do you think you are? You think you're better than us? And that was effectively what I was met with. Anytime I tried to do better, anytime I thought I could be better, it was not allowed. And sometimes you have to say to those people to do one. You just have to straight up tell those people to do one. Their happiness has nothing to do with your happiness. This is probably the best palette I've ever bought. It's complete frivolous side note, but this is probably the best palette I've ever bought. This is probably like one of my most used, most favourite palettes ever. The, what's it called even? The Sample Beauty Equalizer 2 palette. Or Equalizer palette volume 2. I freaking adore it. I have a backup of it. That's how much I like it. Even though I've not even hit pan on any of the shades in it yet. I have one anyway. And I'm just going to quickly do a bit of black for liner as well. Right, here we go. And then just a touch of mascara and some lippy stick. What have I got? Toffee lip gloss. Yeah, I'll go with it. I didn't even mention what day I'm filming this on, did I? Today is Boxing Day. So, yesterday was Christmas. We had a good Christmas. The kids loved their gifts. Rowan got a bunch of new action heroes, and Luna got some Sylvanian family houses and dolls. And she really, really wanted the She really wanted the Bluey house, but I couldn't get it. But I did manage to find, I don't know how y'all feel about secondhand gifts, but I do like a split of half secondhand, half new gifts. It helps. Like last year, Rowan's big gift was actually both their big gifts were secondhand. One was the Bush Baby World big tree that I got for like £20, and it came with a whole bunch of bush babies, which she freaking adored. She still plays with. And Rowan got an Imaginext bat cave, which he lost his mind over. And they were both practically brand new. And this year, I got Rowan, his secondhand gift was, he likes watching Ryan's Toy World, but all his stuff is like mystery prize things. And while the kids like the idea of mystery prizes, they hate the fact that they don't necessarily understand the concept of they don't get to pick what's in it. So I managed to find a set of someone who had collected them and were just selling off their extras. So I got a whole set of the Ryan Toy World little figures, and again, lost his mind over it, but for Luna I got, it's a Sylvanian family mansion, and it looks almost like the Bluey house. That's why I picked it. And it expands, like it opens up, and it's got like an insert for the top floor level and a big insert at the bottom for you can have the bottom floor, and then you can flip it over. It's green and it looks like a garden. And she freaking loves it. And I gave her like little Bluey figures, and yeah, so it's like the Bluey house, but it's not quite the Bluey house, so it's fine. But she can put all her little like LOL dolls, LOL dolls, whatever they are. They fit in there, and the Blueys fit in there, and she can play with it like the videos that she watches on YouTube. And because that's where she gets it from, you know, and she like sits back down and she's like, "Click down below to subscribe." It's like adorable. It's adorable. But they watch I can't remember what channel it is, but they watch a channel where they mix and match lots of figures, and there's another one where they take old LOL dolls and they like redesign them and play out stories, and they just love it. I mean, I don't mind them watching stuff like that. It's quite creative. But yeah, so she had that and got out all her other little figurines, and she's having a whale of a time with it. Absolute whale of a time. They played for an hour and a half solid this morning without fighting. That like never happens. So yeah, that is my overall life update. We're just going to see how things are, take things as they come. I'm really enjoying my new job. I love the freedom that it's giving me, and I'm so appreciative. I will say, because like I said, I'm not a chef. There are things that he's asked me to do that I'm so crap at. Like the other day, on Christmas Eve, we needed to make an extra cheesecake, so he asked me to make the chantilly cream to mix the cream cheese into, and I'm like whisking, my arm is burning, and he just comes over like I was like, I need to practice that. I need to build up my muscle strength. And there's like this industrial size food blender thing, you know, like you get the stick hand blenders. This is like a behemoth. It's a freaking big. He came out of the storage room with it. It was like he was carrying a bazooka on his shoulder. It terrified me. But the job is like really challenging, and I'm learning a lot. So yeah, I love it. Anyways, I'll let you guys go. We will talk more about the new job in the coming weeks, and yeah, I need to get stuff organized, start filming the rest of my end of year content, and I'll catch you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you all for your support. It really means so much to me, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.